Hello everyone, welcome to another boss fighting tutorial. Now this one I'm actually doing Graardor, and I'm doing it a little bit differently than what most people would probably encourage. And I'm using the Demon Horn necklace, and I'm actually using Mage. Now I know some people would say Mage is a bad idea here because of the range capabilities. Well, the range attacks. But for what I'm doing, and sorry if there's a lot of lag, for whatever reason I cannot get a good connection tonight. But I'm doing it for the AoE type of attacks, because the AoE attacks are actually being kind of a lifesaver here. And whenever I'm fighting Graardor, I'm turning on, this is like if you have the capabilities for this. This is probably the easiest way to do it. At least for my experience thus far. I'm using Leech Defense when I'm fighting Graardor. But also I have Soul Split on pretty much all the time. And with the kind of bones that they drop here, your prayer actually gets restored relatively quickly. And with the stuff that, with all the AoE type attacks, it's hitting a lot of stuff. So it's actually restoring my prayer pretty quickly. Well, combined with the Bone Crusher being on my guy, it's really helping. Like I said, sorry about the constant internet interruptions like that, but it's something I can't avoid tonight, seems like. But as you can see, this is going pretty smooth. I mean, I'm not having any problems. But then again, like I said, I'm using the ports gear, which is pretty well my high recommendation for any type of combat gear. Especially for bossing, because if you have the levels to make it, it's very good. You can augment it. It's a defensive armor, so it's going to help you be able to defend better in battles. And then if you really need to, you know, if you have your enhanced Excalibur with you, use that on a regular basis. This will help you keep your defense up there. This way you don't have to worry too much about that. But as you can see, I'm not having really a whole lot of problems here. Most of my problems actually is coming from just lag. But again, I'm using a lot of AoE type abilities. Most people would probably say, hey, use melee, use the AoE for melee, which isn't a horrible idea. It's just I'm finding this method to actually be working a whole lot better. And I'm starting out with using Debilitate. This way, it's a big power attack right off the bat. Well, big, kind of a damage reduction for me. And then also, if you can, try to work in anticipation, because it'll actually reduce the damage coming at you by a decent amount. But if you keep your AoE attacks up there, and if you keep your other type of stuff going, see, he can hit pretty hard. That is one thing about Graardor. And I'm pretty sure the only way I'm going to die is because of this godforsaken internet lag that is just constantly going on. But overall, you should stay pretty well healed from just using the AoE from, the minions that are all over the place, the food that's constantly being dropped. I mean, he does actually drop a lot of food here. So do keep all that kind of stuff in mind. I'm going to go through just a few more rounds here. If you can, you try to use the Sunshine ability. I mean, it will help. But on the grand scale, when fighting Graardor, it might not help as much as I I would personally like. Now, also keep in mind this is not in hard mode. This is just regular mode. If this was hard mode, this would probably be a horrendous idea. Alright, I gotta start using my leech defense here more. Because that helps me in multiple ways. As you can see, now it's helping me out to the point where I'm better sustaining my health, and I'm better sustaining, well, overall. So, I mean, it's worth using it. It's just, I really didn't feel like going through and using more prayer than I had to fight him. But it looks like I'm going to have to use prayer. If you ask me, Graardor is actually harder than Krill. Which I know that might sound a little shocking, but it's kind of true. You guys see me fighting Krill, I had no problems. You see me fighting Graardor. He's holding his own against me pretty dang good. And I'm actually doing better damage this way than whenever I was doing with melee. Now, I probably could be using melee, and it might help me a little bit, but the way it was going yesterday when I was fighting him, I don't know if it would have helped much. That's the only problem. Okay, we're going to go back to fighting over here. And let's see if this helps out at all. Because usually his first hit hits me pretty dang good. And that's what's kind of messing me up a bit here. Okay, now we're actually doing a little bit better standing back and off to the side here compared to where I was. Okay, yeah, that actually went a lot better. And my prayer drain isn't too overwhelming. So we'll stick with this kind of a setup. This is actually the first time I've experimented with doing it this way with Graardor. So that's why I'm not entirely 100% sure if this is actually a best method. But so far, it's becoming a better method than what I was doing. But do not take it 100% that this is the best way. It's just so far, this is what is working for me. And actually, it's getting to be better and better, especially since I've been standing more towards the side here. It actually seems to be helping me hit these guys a little bit more. So yeah, I'd have to say this is definitely better than the melee way. Even though there is range attacks in here. But if you follow the combat triangle at all, you will know that if you are using mage is strong against melee. So this will actually help you quite a bit. With the Demon Horn, that's probably one reason why my health isn't staying up, because I usually use the Blood Fury amulet. So I don't really have that another heal, but this is also helping me from using too much prayer. So it's just like, well, I'm not using as much, you know, prayer potions, but I'm using more healing. So it's just like, well... But actually, I think now I found a good balance. My time is still kind of a little bit high, but not as bad as what it was. But as far as healing goes, I mean, with how often he drops healing items, like sharks, I'd have to say it's worth it in the long run. So yeah, this will actually do it. I mean, if you guys like this method, if you guys have a better method for when it comes to bossing, let me know, and then we can go from there. Like, I'll actually try it out and do that, because I'm all for better methods of bossing. Because that'll help me out. It'll help me out for doing stuff for giveaways because of, you know, selling off the items. It seems like people prefer the bond giveaways rather than gear giveaways, so I'm going to be sticking with that. I think it's mostly because a lot of people already see they have good gear, they don't really need the gear. So what's the point in getting the gear? But, you know, other people are like, well, I want components, I want this and that, you know, to help them level up. And it's just like, well, we'll go this way because this seems to be better for the viewer part of this. So yeah. But yeah, if you guys have a better method, just let me know and we will go from there. So thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, later guys.